Did you know that shows like American Restoration and Pawn Stars are all spin-offs of American Pickers? The premise of American Pickers was groundbreaking at the time, making it incredibly popular. But there are many untold truths about the show. From criticisms of swindling the people they buy from to multiple lawsuits, here are the hidden truths of American Pickers. American Pickers, a journey into America's hidden treasures. If you watch the History Channel or even loved antiques, then you definitely know about American Pickers. This popular reality TV show premiered on the History Channel on January 18, 2010. The show was created by Mike Wolfe, and it quickly became a staple for fans of antiques, history, and American culture. The series follows Wolfe and his co-host Frank Fritz as they travel across the United States in search of valuable antiques, collectibles, and unique artifacts hidden in garages, barns, and basements. With its blend of adventure, history, and personal stories, American Pickers has captivated viewers for over a decade. The whole concept of American Pickers revolves around picking, a term used for the process of finding and purchasing antiques and collectibles from private sellers. The show typically features Mike Wolfe and Frank Fritz driving through rural areas and small towns, stopping at locations that are filled with potential treasure. The show's format is straightforward. The pickers arrive at a location, meet the owner, and begin digging through items, all while negotiating prices and uncovering the history behind each piece. Mike Wolfe, the creator and co-host of the show, is a lifelong picker with a deep passion for antiques and history. He brings charisma and knowledge to the screen, guiding viewers through the significance of each find. Frank Fritz, his original co-host, complemented Mike's style with his humor and negotiation skills. Fritz specialized in certain types of collectibles, such as motorcycles, toys, and advertising memorabilia. Danielle Colby, who runs the antique archaeology store in LeClaire, Iowa, also became a fan favorite. She acts as the team's coordinator, researching potential picks and connecting the team with leads across the country. However, after several seasons, Frank Fritz departed the show due to health issues and personal conflicts, which led to shifts in the show's dynamic and narrative style. Over the years, American Pickers has showcased numerous interesting and valuable finds. Some of the most memorable episodes include discoveries of vintage motorcycles, rare advertising signs, and one-of-a-kind artifacts from early American history. One notable find was a rare 1935 Auburn Phaeton 653 convertible, which had been sitting in a barn for decades. Another memorable episode featured the discovery of a collection of vintage circus posters, which were not only rare, but in excellent condition. The show often highlights the stories of the people who owned these treasures, providing context and the emotional attachments to each episode. The success of American Pickers led to the creation of several spin-offs and related shows, such as American Restoration and Pawn Stars, which also focus on finding, restoring, and valuing historical items. These shows expanded the universe of reality TV focused on history and collectibles, further cementing the genre's place on the History Channel. A passion for picking born in childhood. The journey to becoming a seasoned picker is not an overnight success story. It's the result of years of practice, persistence, and an eye for hidden treasures. Mike Wolfe, co-creator and star of American Pickers, started honing his skills from a very young age. His fascination with what some would call junk began when he was just a child. His first memorable discovery was an old bicycle he salvaged from the trash. After cleaning it up and making a few repairs, he sold it for a small profit of $5. This small but rewarding experience ignited his passion for uncovering valuable items in the most unlikely of places. As a young boy growing up in Joliet, Illinois, Wolfe could often be found scouring alleyways, rummaging through abandoned houses, and sifting through piles of discarded items, hoping to uncover hidden gems that others had overlooked. Wolfe's childhood hobby quickly grew into a relentless pursuit. He began to frequent rural areas and back roads, making a name for himself as a dedicated picker who wouldn't take no for an answer. Wolfe was known to approach local farmers and rural property owners, persistently asking to explore their barns and outbuildings. His primary targets were old bicycles, one of his earliest and most profitable niches. Wolfe had an uncanny ability to identify bikes that others considered worthless and would purchase them for as little as $50. With some restoration and a keen sense for the market, he could resell these bikes for up to $5,000. This knack for turning seemingly insignificant finds into lucrative deals set the foundation for his career. A twist of fate. Frank Fritz's introduction to picking. While Mike Wolfe's passion for picking was deeply ingrained from childhood, his future partner, Frank Fritz, had a different path leading to American pickers. Frank and Mike had been friends since they were teenagers, sharing a bond over their mutual love for antiques and collectibles. However, unlike Wolfe, Frank didn't dive into picking right away. Before joining the show, he had a steady career as a building inspector and firefighter. His interest in collectibles and antiques was more of a side hobby, something he enjoyed casually on weekends and during his spare time. His real entry into the world of professional picking came when Wolfe proposed the idea of the show. The dynamic between Mike Wolfe and Frank Fritz played a crucial role in the development of American pickers. When Wolfe pitched the idea of the show to networks, he envisioned it as a platform to showcase the real-life adventures of pickers, diving deep into American history and culture through the lens of their finds. Recognizing his friend's charisma and unique style, Wolfe invited Fritz to join him as a co-star. Though Frank was not as deeply entrenched in the art of picking as Mike, his charm, negotiation skills, and knack for finding unusual collectibles quickly made him an essential part of the team. Their chemistry, stemming from years of friendship, became one of the cornerstones of the show's success. Becoming television stars. The rise of American pickers. When American Pickers premiered on the History Channel in 2010, it quickly gained traction and built a dedicated fan base. The show wasn't just about the items they found. It was about the stories behind those items and the relationships formed along the way. Mike's deep knowledge and passion for history, combined with Frank's wit and down-to-earth demeanor, created a perfect balance that resonated with viewers. They weren't just business partners, they were storytellers who connected with people from all walks of life. Each episode followed them as they ventured into forgotten barns, cluttered basements, and overstuffed garages across America, negotiating deals and unearthing the hidden treasures that most people had long since written off as worthless junk. Behind the camera, the life of a picker was not always as glamorous as it appeared on TV. The hours were long, the road trips often exhausting, and the work physically demanding. Mike Wolfe, driven by his passion, embraced the challenge, while Frank adapted to the fast-paced lifestyle that picking demanded. They both spent countless hours negotiating deals, evaluating items, and networking with other pickers, collectors, and antique dealers to ensure they were always on top of their game. For Wolfe, it was a labor of love, a continuation of his childhood fascination, now amplified by the reach and influence of television. For Fritz, it became a new chapter in his life, a move from a stable career to a more unpredictable but ultimately rewarding journey. Challenges and changes. Adapting to a new reality. As the show's popularity soared, both Mike and Frank became public figures, facing the pressures of fame and the complexities that came with it. Their newfound celebrity status meant dealing with more than just rusty relics. It meant navigating contracts, public relations, and sometimes even controversy. While Wolfe continued to thrive, expanding his business ventures and solidifying his brand, Fritz faced a different set of challenges. In later seasons, Frank's absence from the show became a topic of speculation among fans. Health issues, including back surgery and personal struggles, kept him away from the screen for extended periods, creating tension and ultimately leading to his departure from the show. This shift significantly altered the dynamic of American Pickers and left many wondering about the future of the beloved duo. As American Pickers continued to air, Wolfe leveraged his success to build a broader business empire. He opened antique archaeology stores in Iowa and Tennessee, creating physical spaces where fans could experience the thrill of picking firsthand. Meanwhile, Wolfe expanded into other areas, such as publishing and brand collaborations, turning his love for history and storytelling into a diversified portfolio. Frank, on the other hand, continued to be involved in the world of antiques, but on a smaller scale, focusing on his own interests and personal health. Mike Wolfe, author and advocate for the art of picking. Mike Wolfe is not just a television personality and seasoned picker. He is also an author with a passion for preserving the unique art of picking for future generations. Recognizing that this niche hobby could easily fade into obscurity, Wolfe has taken proactive steps to ensure its survival and growth. One of his major efforts is his book, Kid Pickers: How to Turn Junk into Treasure. Aimed at younger audiences, the book introduces children to the joys of picking, teaching them how to find hidden gems in what many might dismiss as junk. The book is not merely instructional, it's an invitation to see the world through a different lens, one that appreciates history, creativity, and the thrill of the hunt for valuable items. To complement his book, Wolfe launched a website also called Kid Pickers, designed to serve as a digital hub for young pickers. This platform provides a safe and engaging space for kids to share their own picking adventures, showcase their finds, and learn more about the history and value of various collectibles. In essence, Wolfe is creating a community where young enthusiasts can connect and nurture their budding interest in this unique art form. By fostering this interest early on, Wolfe hopes to build what could be seen as a junk army, a new generation of pickers who will carry the torch forward, ensuring the culture of picking remains alive and well. Mike Wolfe's perspective on fame. Despite the widespread popularity of American Pickers and the fame that has come with it, Mike Wolfe remains remarkably humble about his role in the show's success. While the series has undeniably made him a household name, Wolfe is quick to downplay his celebrity status. For him, the true stars of American Pickers are not himself or his co-hosts, but the fascinating individuals they meet along the way. Characters like Hippie Tom, Hobo Jack, and Prince Mongo, eccentric, colorful personalities who have accumulated vast collections of curiosities, are the ones who make the show special. These unique individuals open their homes, barns, and storage spaces to Wolfe and his team, allowing them to dig through decades' worth of belongings in search of hidden treasures. Wolfe believes that the appeal of American Pickers lies not just in the value of the items found, but in the stories and histories behind them. In his view, the human connections formed during these encounters are what resonate most with viewers. As Wolfe noted in an interview with Entrepreneur.com, it's always been an honor that people open their homes and their hearts to us. This sentiment reflects Wolfe's genuine appreciation for the trust and openness that these collectors extend to him and his team, allowing the show to dive deep into American history and culture through their personal stories. Wolfe's desire to stay grounded. Wolfe's reluctance to embrace the limelight goes beyond just humble remarks. It's a core part of his personality. While many reality TV stars might relish their newfound fame and use it to propel themselves further into the public eye, Wolfe appears to be the opposite. He is not interested in becoming a conventional celebrity. Instead, he remains focused on his craft and his original mission, to highlight the hidden treasures scattered across America and the fascinating individuals who possess them. Unlike some TV personalities who thrive on constant media attention and glamour, Wolfe seems to prefer the quiet satisfaction of discovering a great find or unearthing an incredible story that would otherwise go unheard. This attitude has also meant that Wolfe has managed to steer clear of the typical pitfalls associated with reality TV fame. He has largely avoided scandals, public controversies, or any dramatic fallouts that often plague celebrities in the entertainment world. For Wolfe, the integrity of his work and his love for picking seem to overshadow any desire for personal stardom. His focus remains on the joy of the hunt, the thrill of the negotiation, and the satisfaction of unearthing history. This grounded approach to fame has allowed him to maintain a positive public image and continue doing what he loves without getting caught up in the trappings of celebrity culture. Creating a lasting impact. Beyond the screen, Mike Wolfe's efforts as an author, advocate, and reality TV star go beyond merely entertaining viewers. They are about creating a lasting impact. By inspiring young people to take up picking through his book and online platform, Wolfe is not only passing on valuable knowledge and skills, but also instilling a sense of curiosity and respect for the past. His work on American pickers has helped bring attention to the importance of preserving history and appreciating the stories embedded in everyday objects. He sees value in what many consider trash and believes in the power of objects to tell a story, a philosophy that he carries into all his ventures. Moreover, Wolfe's community-building efforts with Kid Pickers suggest a long-term vision for picking as more than just a hobby, but a way of life that promotes sustainability, creativity, and historical awareness. He encourages young enthusiasts to look beyond the surface, to dig deeper into the stories of the past, and to understand the worth of items that may seem insignificant. His approach is less about monetary value and more about the narrative each item carries, a reflection of the lives and times from which they originate. Controversies surrounding the buying and selling practices. One of the main criticisms often directed at American pickers is the way the show handles the buying and selling of collectibles. Some viewers argue that the pickers, particularly Mike Wolfe and Frank Fritz, often take advantage of the people they buy from by purchasing items at significantly lower prices than their actual worth, only to later sell them at a substantial markup. This practice is seen by some as an exploitative form of capitalism, profiting from the lack of knowledge or desperation of the sellers. For some critics, this dynamic of profit-making over fairness leaves a bad taste, especially when the sellers are portrayed as quirky, well-meaning individuals who are simply enthusiastic about their collections or are looking to declutter. The show, however, frames these transactions as part of the negotiation game, highlighting the skills required to spot valuable items and the ability to haggle for a reasonable price. For Wolfe and Fritz, picking is not just about buying low and selling high, it's also about understanding the history and value of an item, which is something not every seller is equipped to do. Still, the controversy around these practices has led to debates on whether the pickers are savvy businessmen or opportunists taking advantage of the uninformed. The lawsuit against Frank Fritz, a legal battle over a deal gone wrong. A more specific controversy that drew negative attention to American pickers involved a lawsuit filed against Frank Fritz. The lawsuit was brought by Jerry Bruce, a collector from South Carolina who had a particular interest in acquiring a polarimeter, a scientific instrument he needed for a museum he planned to establish. Bruce had watched an episode of American Pickers where Frank and Mike had purchased a polarimeter, and he decided to reach out to them to buy it. According to Bruce's claims, Fritz agreed to sell him the polarimeter for $300. Bruce sent a check for the agreed amount, expecting the item to be shipped to him soon after. However, weeks went by, and Bruce neither received the polarimeter nor saw his check cashed. Confused and frustrated, Bruce tried to contact Fritz multiple times to resolve the issue, but he received no satisfactory response. Feeling cheated, Bruce decided to take legal action against Fritz, accusing him of swindling him out of the promised item. When the case went to court, Frank Fritz did not make an appearance to defend himself or offer any explanation for the failed transaction. His absence led the court to rule in favor of Jerry Bruce by default. The judgment awarded Bruce $1,000, an amount far exceeding his initial $300 offer and making for quite an ironic outcome. Essentially, Bruce was handed a four-figure payout for an investment of nothing, which some found amusing given the show's premise of flipping items for profit. It was as if Bruce had beaten the pickers at their own game, walking away with a significant gain without having to spend a dime. The lawsuit and its outcome fueled further criticism of the show and its stars. It raised questions not only about the ethics of their business practices, but also about their professionalism and reliability in dealing with customers outside the show. Some saw the incident as indicative of a broader issue within the picking world, a reflection of the fine line between legitimate business dealings and potential exploitation or negligence. The lawsuit and subsequent criticism also had implications for the show's reputation. While American Pickers had built a brand around celebrating Americana, history, and the spirit of discovery, the controversy with Jerry Bruce put a dent in that image. Fans began to wonder if there were other instances of similar behavior that hadn't been brought to light. Although the show continued to air successfully after the lawsuit, the incident was a reminder of the challenges reality TV stars face in maintaining their public personas, especially when off-screen business dealings go awry. Danielle Colby. More than just a picker. Danielle Colby, a key figure on American Pickers, is much more than just the savvy shop manager fans see on television. While she's widely known for her role at Antique Archaeology, where she assists Mike Wolfe in running the business and scouting new leads, Colby wears many hats beyond her work on the show. Her entrepreneurial spirit is evident in her diverse pursuits, which range from the world of burlesque to small business ownership. Before she became a familiar face on the History Channel, Danielle had already built a name for herself in a completely different field: burlesque dancing. Under the stage name Danny Diesel, she has been performing for years, and her passion for this art form is clear. Not content with just being a dancer, Danielle has become an advocate for burlesque as a form of expression and empowerment. Her dedication to the craft even led her to produce a documentary focused on Tempest Storm, one of burlesque's most iconic figures, whose career has spanned over 5 decades. This project showcased Danielle's ability to blend her love for history with her interest in performance art, much like what she does on American Pickers, only in a more personal and artistic realm. Danielle's interest in unique and niche markets doesn't stop at burlesque. For a time, she ran her own boutique 4 miles to Memphis, located near the American Pickers headquarters in LeClaire, Iowa. The shop was a reflection of Danielle's eclectic taste, offering a mix of retro, vintage, and rockabilly-style clothing and accessories. Though the boutique eventually closed, it demonstrated her knack for creating spaces that reflect her personality and interests. The store wasn't just a business. It was a physical manifestation of her love for the quirky, vintage, and unusual, a trait that aligns well with her role on the show. In addition to her work in retail and burlesque, Danielle has also been involved in roller derby, a sport known for its toughness, team spirit, and underground culture. As a former roller derby competitor, she went by the name Danny Diesel, bringing the same level of intensity and enthusiasm to the rink that she brings to her other ventures. This involvement in roller derby not only reveals her fearless personality, but also her inclination toward non-traditional forms of expression and entrepreneurship. It's clear that Danielle Colby is not afraid to take risks and pursue her passions, no matter how unconventional they may be. A brush with the IRS, financial missteps, and tax troubles. Despite her vibrant personality and diverse career endeavors, Danielle Colby has faced some setbacks, particularly with her financial dealings. Managing multiple business ventures can be a challenging task, and it seems that Danielle may have struggled to keep all aspects of her entrepreneurial life in balance. In 2013, the IRS flagged her for nearly $6,000 in unpaid taxes related to her boutique, 4 miles to Memphis. This tax issue marked the beginning of a series of notices from the government regarding unpaid dues. Over the next few years, Danielle's tax problems continued to escalate. By 2015, reports indicated that she had received at least 4 additional notices from the IRS, each warning her of mounting penalties and interest on the unpaid balance. This persistent financial oversight puzzled many, considering her apparent understanding of business and management. Running multiple enterprises, especially in niche markets like burlesque and vintage clothing, requires a significant amount of organization and attention to detail, qualities that seemed at odds with her tax-related troubles. While it's unclear whether Danielle's tax woes were a result of oversight, mismanagement, or simple neglect, the situation highlighted the challenges of juggling multiple careers and business interests. Taxes, as any business owner knows, are an essential part of maintaining a legitimate enterprise, and falling behind can lead to serious consequences. For Danielle, these missteps with the IRS served as a stark reminder of the importance of financial diligence, especially when balancing diverse and unconventional career paths. Danielle's tax troubles have led some fans to question how she manages her other business ventures and whether similar issues have arisen in her more recent endeavors. While there hasn't been any publicized follow-up on her tax situation beyond 2015, it remains a cautionary tale for entrepreneurs about the importance of keeping business affairs in order. In the world of small business and independent ventures, staying on top of financial responsibilities is crucial to ensuring long-term success. Despite these controversies, Danielle Colby remains a beloved figure on American Pickers and within the broader community of fans who appreciate her authenticity and creativity. Her ability to diversify her interests, from dancing and performing to running a boutique, demonstrates a strong entrepreneurial spirit that resonates with many. However, the tax troubles did cast a shadow over her otherwise dynamic career, offering a glimpse into the more challenging aspects of managing multiple streams of income and business responsibilities. Danielle has not publicly addressed the specifics of her tax issues beyond what has been reported, but she seems to have continued moving forward with her various projects. Her social media presence suggests a focus on her passion projects, such as burlesque, as well as advocacy work and charity initiatives. It's clear that Danielle remains committed to living life on her terms, even when faced with the occasional setback or controversy. Ultimately, Danielle Colby's journey is one of passion, creativity, and a willingness to take risks. Whether she's performing on stage as a burlesque dancer, managing the day-to-day operations at Antique Archaeology, or running her own boutique, she has proven to be a multi-talented individual with a strong entrepreneurial spirit. Her diverse interests may have led to some bumps along the way, particularly with her tax issues, but they also reflect a life lived fully and unapologetically. Danielle's story serves as a reminder that behind every public persona is a complex individual with both strengths and weaknesses. Her ability to navigate the worlds of performance, business, and reality television with such flair makes her a unique and compelling figure on American Pickers. And while her journey has not been without its challenges, Danielle continues to push forward, embracing new opportunities and pursuing her passions with the same vigor that made her a fan favorite on the show. Hobo Jack, the multi-talented writer and musician, known affectionately as Hobo Jack on American Pickers, Jack Sophir is far from your ordinary drifter. Jack has become a memorable figure on the show, not just because of his rugged, nomadic lifestyle and unique persona, but also because of his unexpected creative talents. Beyond being a collector and a lover of oddities, Jack has ventured into the world of literature. He has penned 3 books, with his most well-known work being Amazing Adventures of the Tramp Prince. This book, like his others, offers a window into his unconventional life, filled with tales of the road, reflections on freedom, and encounters with colorful characters that could only be dreamt up by someone who has lived such an unconventional life. But writing is just one of Jack's many passions. Under the name Backwoods Jack, he has also delved into music, playing both guitar and piano by ear. Over the years, Jack has released 5 albums that blend blues, folk, and a touch of the rustic storytelling style that defines his written work. His music is raw and unrefined, much like the man himself, capturing the essence of his hobo lifestyle. Jack personally manages the sales of his books and music, which adds a touch of authenticity to his brand. However, this also means that customers might have to wait weeks or months for their orders to be fulfilled, as stated on his website. This unique approach aligns perfectly with his laid-back, no-rush way of life, and fans seem to embrace it, knowing that their purchases are handled directly by the artist himself. Prince Mongo Robert. Prince Mongo Hodges made a brief but unforgettable appearance on American Pickers, but his notoriety stretches far beyond his single episode. Known for his eccentric behavior and his self-proclaimed title as the King of Zambodia, Prince Mongo is a well-known figure in Memphis, Tennessee, where his antics have made him both a local celebrity and a topic of intrigue. When viewers were introduced to him on the show, he was living in a dilapidated mansion called Ashlar Hall, which he referred to as his castle. Prince Mongo claimed to have come to Earth to save the Earthlings, a statement that perfectly encapsulates his quirky persona. His ownership of Ashlar Hall became the center of a legal controversy in 2014 when Prince Mongo gifted the castle to businessman Kenny Medlin. The only issue was that he had already given it to another person prior to this, leading to a complicated dispute over the property. This situation was just another chapter in the life of a man who seems to thrive on chaos and contradiction. But Prince Mongo's eccentricities don't stop at property disputes. Since 1991, he has repeatedly run for mayor of Memphis, each time delivering campaigns that are as unconventional as the man himself. His slogan, "May the good spirits be with you, all the way," became a memorable catchphrase during his numerous mayoral runs. While he has never come close to winning, his campaigns are less about political ambition and more about performance art, challenging the status quo and providing a bizarre yet entertaining alternative to traditional politics. His presence on the show may have been brief, but his impact and lasting impression are undeniable. Mole Man Ron, a cult figure in the making. Mole Man. Ron, another quirky character featured on American Pickers, made his mark during his single appearance in the show's first season. With his distinctive purple hoodie and an uncanny resemblance to actor Marty Feldman, Ron guided Mike Wolfe and Frank Fritz through his labyrinth-like home, which was a veritable maze filled with collectibles, clutter, and curiosities. His episode captivated viewers, not just for the treasures unearthed, but for the eccentricity of Mole Man Ron himself. His peculiar charm and the bizarre nature of his burrow home left a strong impression, making him a minor cult figure among the show's fans. The popularity of his episode led to some unexpected attempts to capitalize on his newfound fame. In June 2011, a mysterious ad appeared on Yard Sales Pittsburgh, promoting a sale that was purportedly offering items from Mole Man Ron's extensive collection. The ad tantalizingly mentioned that Ron himself might make a guest appearance from time to time, creating a buzz among fans who hoped to meet him in person. However, it's unclear whether Mole Man Ron ever actually showed up. For those who attended, there was always the possibility of just missing him, adding a layer of mystique to his already curious persona. The characters like Hobo Jack, Prince Mongo, and Mole Man Ron bring a unique flavor to American Pickers, each contributing to the show's appeal in their own peculiar way. Hobo Jack, with his literary and musical pursuits, shows a depth that goes beyond the typical hobo stereotype, revealing a creative soul who has chosen an alternative lifestyle filled with art and music. Meanwhile, Prince Mongo's political aspirations and bizarre claims as a ruler of an imaginary kingdom make him a constant source of fascination and bewilderment, even beyond his single appearance on the show. Mole Man Ron, on the other hand, embodies the spirit of the eccentric collector, the kind of person who lives surrounded by what others might consider junk, but sees each item as a piece of puzzle. His single appearance left such an impression that people sought to profit from his fame, further solidifying his status as a memorable character. These figures contribute to a broader narrative within American Pickers, the idea that every object has a story, and often the people behind those objects are as compelling, if not more so, than the items themselves. The show thrives on this interplay between the hunt for antiques and the discovery of unique individuals whose lives are intertwined with the things they collect. By highlighting these extraordinary characters, American Pickers has created a space where history and human connection come together. It's not just about the relics of the past, it's about the modern-day storytellers who keep those relics alive through their passions, quirks, and sometimes controversial decisions.